Hello everyone, welcome to the session of your financial reporting where we will be learning how orientation works. Okay, so I hope all of you guys are doing good. As we had an introduction or the batch launches a day before yesterday, and today we will be starting with the financial reporting end-to-end orientation. So how things works actually in in the regular sessions, right? Yeah. So I want to get into directly like what are we gonna cover in this entire orientation, guys, like from the beginning. So we will be starting with exam pattern. Like I'll be talking to you guys about how financial reporting exam pattern works, and then I will be talking about how the subject content works for the classes, and I will also be talking about what how are the approaches going to be working out, and what are the exam tricks that you guys have to use, which are the resources that you have to actually go through, and when you are following the lectures of mine, how you have to follow. These are all the things that we're going to majorly consider. Okay, so the first thing that we will be discussing is about the exam pattern. The very first thing that we will be discussing will be the exam pattern. So what are we gonna listen when I talk about the exam pattern? The first thing, all of you should understand, this is a computer based examination. This is a computer based examination. It is not a paper based examination where you guys go to the center, you guys go to the computer based centers, and you guys will be writing the examination there. So ma'am, do we have enough centers? Yes, of course. It depends on the city that you're coming from, where you can always check on ACCA main website whether you have your centers in the city that you're coming from or not. So mostly it is available almost all over India. So the complete computer based examination, and the duration will be of how many hours? 3 hours 15 minutes. So most of us gets confused saying that when they say 3 hours 15 minutes, are we gonna have the exam timing for 3 hours 15 minutes? Definitely not, guys. See, 15 minutes is to read instructions. This is purely to read instructions, wherein only 3 hours is for the exam. For example, I have 15 minutes to read examinations. For example, where do I have to go ahead and navigate, or which section is what, how do we have, like, where do we I have to go ahead and access calculators, how do we consider the typing the answer, like, section C, where do I have to go ahead and write, how do I navigate things through, if I'm not sure about one question, then can I come back to the question, how do I come back, or can I mark that question saying that I'm doubtful on this. See, for these things they would give you instructions, how are you going to write the examination for 15 minutes where you can read. Assume that you're done reading in 5 minutes, assume that you're done reading in 10 minutes. Okay, so do you think they will adjust that time of extra 5 minutes that you left in your reading instruction to your exam? No. So the moment you're done with reading, that will get closed automatically. The exam timer will start, which is of pure 180 minutes, that is 3 hours, right? So second thing is, you should all know the total marks is for 100 marks, wherein you have to pass only 50%, that you score 50 marks and you are good to go. The main thing, the one thing that most of us are having a doubt in our ACCA examination is, ma'am, do we have negative marking? Guys, you need to understand there is no negative marking. I mean, it's either 0 or a number. There is no negative values. It's either 0 or number. There is no negative marks at all. Okay, great. Okay, so this is about the exam pattern, where the exam consists of 3 sections. So I will be going through you guys each section one by one now. Okay, first thing is, ma'am, Hindi. See, I understand that you need to know Hindi, but I'm sorry, this batch is completely an English batch. So I wish I can speak in Hindi to you. Okay, and second one is, ma'am, how can I get loan for my preparation of ACCA? Please help. I need financial help for complete my journey of ACCA. Okay, see, Aman, I think you can connect with the physics wala team. I'm sure they should be helping you in terms of the financial options that they have. I'm sure they have multiple options in terms of getting into loans. I just want you to connect. So at the end of the session, I'll be sharing their contact details where you can directly get in touch with them. Yeah, the respective team will help you right way. The expertise will talk to you. Great. Okay. So let's move to the different types of different types of sections. I mean, what are the sections that we do have? We will go ahead and see those things, guys. So the first section is of 30 marks. So which we call it as MCQ. I mean, you will have multiple choice questions. So you guys need to understand it has 15 questions, which we call it as objective type questions, and it considers 2 marks each. I mean, each question has 2 marks. So it covers how many marks, guys? Typically it covers 30 marks. But the main question is, ma'am, is it only the MCQ? See, when I say MCQ, it is not only choose the following. You guys need to understand, you can expect to have choose the following could be there. And you might also have match the following. Choose the following, match the following. Yeah. Fill in the blanks could also be there. Fill in the blanks kind of questions will also be there. Apart from that, you can expect to have some drag down, drop down options. So dragging down is like matching things with by dragging it down, and drop down options will also be there. So which when you start practicing the questions, you'll understand. So typically each question considers 2 marks, right? Now majority of people think, okay, it's quite easy, right? I can easily get 2 marks. See guys, understand ACCA works in this level. Assume you have question number 5. Yeah, they ask you which of the or which 2 of the following. Let's say they ask you something like which 2 of the following is an answer. You have option A, B, C, D. Assume the correct ones are A and D. These 2 are correct ones. But you have selected option A and B. See, this question is for 2 marks. They've asked which 2 of the following. So how many marks do you think you'll get? You can put it on the comment box if you think. How many marks do you think you'll get? You'll get only 1. I mean, if you think you'll get only 1 mark, please understand it's either 0 marks or 2. So that means even if 1 is correct, another one is wrong, you will still get 0. So please understand, MCQ, I know it's a kind of easier option for us. We feel like MCQ is the easiest one. But unfortunately, if there is a 2 questions, 2 answers coming into the picture, and you know, one is right, another one is wrong, the ACCA examiners, I mean, it is evaluated by the artificial intelligence. So it is either 0 marks or 2 marks. There is no in between 1 mark that you can expect to have in section A. So we have to be very, very careful on this. So section A do covers the entire syllabus. I mean, like जो भी topic है, whichever topic is there, they can randomly pick some questions and they can put it on section A. So it's not like, oh, I cannot say, yeah, this comes up only from IFRS 15 revenue, this comes up only from IAS 20 government grants. It doesn't work that way. It can be randomly from any topic, any single topic that we can expect to have. Right? Yes. Yeah. So considering this part also, I mean, considering the major element, let's move to the section B. I hope we are understanding how section A works, right? So let me have a check on the chat. Let's see. Ma'am, ACCA or CPA, which is the best? Jaya, it depends, like what do you want to do? Assume like CPA, if you're talking about a particular country and I want to go settle down only in that particular country, for example CPA Australia, CPA US, CPA Canada, you want to do only that, then CPA is best. I mean, I want to settle down only in that country, but I want to explore more than that. I mean, I want exposure to multiple number of countries that I want to work for, or multiple type, number of companies who are in different sort of countries, then ACCA would be the best. It totally depends what do you want to do, but however, both are good, I would say that. English, please. Oh good lord, like guys, I would like to repeat because the session is completely English and this batch is also going to be completely in English. जो भी doubts है, I can explain to you guys in English, try to explain in English, but when I explain it has to be in pure English. Yeah. After registration, what should I do? Please support. Krish, all you have to do is just get into the physics wala learning, the learning application. So scan and register for this course. The entire class, every section by section is given there, like, right from the top, what are we gonna cover, everything is given. You just have to contact one of the team and get through the registration done. They'll definitely help you out with that. Okay, yes, so the end-to-end support is there. In which ways, I'll tell you guys what happens in the overall session. Okay, great. Okay, guys, I'll come back to the live explanation the moment I'm done with the section B. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can drop it across. So now comes the section B, which considers the remaining, the additional 30 marks. So where I would say this is also MCQ based only. But here you'll have 3 case studies. What is 3 case studies? I mean, you'll get some case scenarios. Some information will be given. Okay, based on this information, this is one case study. Okay, based on this information, you will get 5 questions of objective type, OT type questions into 2 marks each. I mean, but here what happens, this one case study belongs to one topic, belongs to a group of topics. I would say it may be 1 or 2 topics together will be asked. It is not like some random things that they will pick it up and ask you. So it has to be what? It has to be random, based on the topics that we actually have. Correct? Yeah. So now considering, what do you think will happen here? See, I will have 5 questions. Let's say question 1, you got 2 marks. Correct. Question 2, you got again 2 marks. Question 3, again you got 2 marks. Good enough. Question 4, let's say you got 0. Question 5, you also got 2 marks. Now, if you ask me, don't tell me, ma'am, a question I got it 0. That means pura 5 questions was also 0. Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. It is gonna be what? It is gonna be 8 marks. Yeah, it is not 0, guys. You, for that particular question, jo bhi marks allocated is there, that amount of marks you'll still get. Only question which went wrong, it will be 0. As I said, each question is 0 or 2. So this is one case study scenario. Likewise, you will have 3 case studies and each case study will have 10 marks. So 3 case studies should give you 30 marks. So yeah, for example, in one case study, they will ask you IAS 16 impairment related sort of questions. In another case study, maybe they'll get into provision and little bit towards the IAS 10 events after reporting period. Maybe in another one, something else. So some group of concepts will be added upon and asked in one case study. And it's a mixture of both practical and theoretical questions. Yeah. So it is focusing on what? Applying concepts to practical scenarios. That is the section B part. I hope we are clear with section B part 2, everyone. Fair enough? Okay. So now I'm moving to section C. Before moving to section C, let me come to the live chat, guys. Okay. Yes, Shubham, you're totally right. Yes, I was. Yeah. I agree. Okay. प्रिपरेशन का बाद एग्जाम के प्रोसेस क्या है? ओके, हाउ टू बुक द एग्जामिनेशन एंड एवरीथिंग. यस, आई लेट यू नो, Krish. Good question. I'll cover it up in the orientation itself. How do we go and book the examination and everything? Okay. So see, in section C, we will have 2 constructed response questions where each considers 20 marks, where you have to go ahead and type the answer. So keep it in mind. What do I talk about typing the answer? For example, they will be asked a question for 12 marks, assume. So you go ahead and write the answers. Okay, let's say this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, this is wrong, and this is correct. And your final answer is wrong. Let's say, because if you make one step wrong, final answer is wrong. Mom, that means the total 12 marks is gone. No. So for this, maybe they will assume 2 marks. For this, maybe 3 marks. For this, let's additionally say 3 marks. This is 0. And yahan pe you can expect to have additional some 2 marks. Okay. And here 1 mark would have been allocated. So, jo bhi correct tha, those marks will still be allocated. So you will get step marking in terms of what constructed response question. You don't have to worry about if you make a one mistake. That means, do you think the whole answer or the whole marks is going to be eliminated? Definitely not, guys. So only that particular step which you made as a mistake will be eliminated, will be reduced. But otherwise, the section C works very, very simple and easy. Fair enough? Yes. This is about section C. So what are the things we can expect to have in section C, guys? You can expect to have only 3 topics. One is preparation of financial statements, which I call it as single entity concepts. NI consolidation. Otherwise, you can expect to have an interpretation of what, or I would call it as ratio analysis. So out of these 3 topics, any one question will come. Any two of 3 will be appearing in your main examination. So you have to be thorough with single entity and consolidation of financial statements and interpretation of what? Interpretation of financial statements too. So if you know this much, this is a total exam pattern. Yeah, I hope we are good about it. On the examination pattern, what are the types of examination sections that we have, everything is covered. Okay, now moving towards the chat, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me before I move towards the subject content. What is there in cash flow is not tested on section C, unfortunately. Yeah, so yep, so if you have any kind of chats, please let me know so that I can go ahead and tell you guys before I move to the subject content. Okay, I'm hoping there is no question further. Moving towards the subject content for you guys. So what is the subject content that we were expecting? I have to make you guys one thing understanding that FR is definitely not about memorizing accounting standards, guys. It's all about understand each and every logic behind the financial transaction that is happening. So first thing that you'll be learning is conceptual framework. This is completely theory. Yeah, this is completely theory. See, even though it is not exam oriented, I mean, like so many marks will not be coming up in terms of examination point of view. There won't be multiple questions coming up from this topic, but however, it is gonna play a basic and important role for your financial reporting. If you know this, then lot of things are made easy to you guys. So you can expect to have certain questions, maybe approximately some 3 to 5 questions coming up is the whole part. This group is expected to have 3 to 5. That is somewhere around 6 marks to 10 marks. But this is 10 is too much. I would say 6 marks is the maximum that you're expecting. Typically, sometimes what happens, like the ACCA examiner feels that this particular topic is not getting covered from a long period of time. So suddenly they might come up with certain questions. So I just want you guys to be little cautious in terms of getting into these topics, that is conceptual and regulatory framework, which you will be reading the first part. I mean, this is the first thing that you'll be having in your recorded session as well. So purpose of financial reporting, how conceptual framework works, what are the elements of financial statements, why do we have assets, why do we have liability, why do we call it as expenses, or what makes us understanding this is going to be income or revenue. Every single bit that you feel, yes, these are all the elements that we have to consider, will be considered in what? In your conceptual and regulatory framework. This is one whole group that I want you guys to study. I know it is going to be little kind of dry because it is theory, but if you don't study this, the theoretical basic knowledge for the upcoming standards is going to be difficult. Okay, this is the conceptual and regulatory framework, the first part. Then comes the major part, I would say the core of your financial reporting is accounting standards, guys. See, it could be both IFRS and IAS standards. So I want you guys to make a note of it if you're watching it, or just make sure that you pay attention on all of these things overall. So I hope you guys can see the part. I hope you guys can understand. See, there are multiple standards. So the first one is IFRS 13 fair value measurement. The reason why I have to keep it simple is because I want you guys to know. So the first standard that you'd be learning is IFRS 13 fair value measurement. And then we have IAS 16 property, plant and equipment. And then we have IAS 40 investment property. Even in the recorded session, I want you guys to go through the groups that I'm mentioning here. So if you're getting into the sessions, I want you guys to take a screenshot of this so that you follow the same thing what I'm talking here. Yeah, IAS 16 it is. And then we have IAS 38 intangibles. And then we have IAS 36 impairment. Yeah, so this is the first group that I want you guys to study in terms of standards. Yeah, the second group that I want you guys to concentrate it is on IFRS 16 leases, IFRS 9 financial instruments. Yeah, and then IFRS 15 revenue. Yeah, and IAS 37 provision. And then IAS 12 income taxes. Or else let me change it. I'll give you guys another way. It makes more sense. I want you guys to start with after IFRS 9 financial instruments. So go with IAS 21 foreign currency transactions. You go with IAS 21 foreign currency transactions. I'm just writing foreign. You should know when you look into the recorded sessions. Then finish off IAS 41 agricultural asset and IAS 2 inventories. Agricultural asset and then IAS 2 inventory. So this is one group that I want you guys to study. Okay. So this is the second group that you have to study after your first one. Then comes the third group. So what do you have to do in third group? You have to understand how does IFRS 15 revenue works. Then IAS 37 provision works. And then IAS 10 events after reporting period. And then IAS 12 income tax expenses. So this is the third group that I want you guys to study. Okay. And then comes the fourth group. So what do we, fourth group is baki ka jo bhi hai, like the small values, everything put together in one place. Okay. So you guys will start with IAS 33 EPS, good standard, important standard. And then comes up with, I want you guys to get into IAS 8 accounting policies and stuff. And then finish off IAS 20 government grants, and then IFRS 5 non-current asset held for sale. Okay, this is the fourth group. So this is all put together a small set of groups. It's not going to be major. Now considering, ma'am, if I study so much of accounting standards, then am I good to go? Yes, you're very much good to go. Guys, I told you section A, section B, all of these covers these kind of standards. So if you know these many standards, so even the importance is also the same way the way that I have written. First three groups have more importance, guys, high importance. Yeah. The next fourth group is comparatively lesser, but yes, first group and second group and third one has high importance in your main examination. So once I know these things, once I know these particular standards, then using the same standards, I shall go ahead and prepare financial statements, which we call it as single entity statements. Now, when I saw single entity statements, what am I talking about? I'm talking about individual financial statements. Okay. So when I say you are expected to prepare statement of P&L, statement of financial position, which you can expect to have in section C questions, this possibly they might ask. There are possibilities, I'm not saying no to that. But when I talk about statement of cash flows and notes to accounts, that is not going to be asked in your section C at all, guys. There won't be any kind of questions asked in section C, especially what? Especially the statement of cash flows and notes to accounts. Notes to accounts, first of all, will not at all come in what? Will not at all come in the calculation part. So only P&L and financial positions are expected to ask, and statement of changes in equity to the extent they might ask. Statement of cash flows not in section C. Not a full length question, at least. Not a full length section C. So even if they come in a section C, you can expect to have only an extract of it. For example, only operating activity, investing activity, or what is the purchase of PPE that you can expect to have. Very basic. It is not in depth at all. Right? Yeah. So this we call it as what? The third set, preparation of financial statements. Then comes, we have consolidated financial statements. So one of the most important and scoring areas in your financial reporting, because the consolidation statement of financial statements includes, guys, I would say it carries a good 25 marks of your financial reporting syllabus. So when I say 25 marks, it's a huge thing, isn't it, people? For example, you can expect to have in section C, most likely. If you can't find out in section C, this will be coming up in section A and B together, no matter what. So there will be section A questions and section B put together. Some 20 to 25 marks will definitely come. So here, what are we going to learn? We are not going to limit ourselves in terms of learning the financial statements of one single individual company's financial statements. It's rather the both parent and subsidiary. For example, one company acquired another company, so how do their relationship works? When they acquire, do we get anything, like do we pay anything as goodwill and sort? Like what about those people we are not acquiring? What if I don't control the 100% of the company, right? How do we present the consolidated statement of financial position? How do we present the consolidated statement of P&L? I mean, what is consolidation, guys? Two companies together. So it is two or more companies together. For example, take Tata Group, Reliance Group. See, I'm using the word, I'm not saying Tata company, I'm rather using the word Tata Group, Reliance Group. So this is overall I'm talking about. So this part you can expect to have consolidation, which is important for 25 marks. So the moment you are done with the standards, and the moment you are done with preparation of single entity financial statements, then you have to go for what? Then you have to go for consolidated financial statements. That is the order that you have to go through. Okay. Yeah. So then comes the interpretation of financial statements, which we call it as ratio analysis. Guys, over the period, what I have seen is, I have seen a definite section C may ratio analysis is coming. But I would like to still stand with the saying that I told you at the beginning. See, in section C, you are expected to have either single entity, that is one company's financial statements, or consolidation where parent and its subsidiaries financial statements, or else ratio analysis. So out of these three, you'll expect two. For example, you might get single entity and consolidation, or consolidation and ratio analysis, or ratio analysis and single entity. But I have seen over the period of time, irrespective, ratio analysis is becoming a mandatory question. So that means no matter what, there is always one ratio analysis question that coming up into the question examination. So with one question is ratio analysis, the another one is the deciding factor between a single entity and consolidated financial statements. Now the major part that you need to understand is, ma'am, what is ratio analysis? Guys, it is just comparison of two different. See, you can expect to have same entity. I have one entity. Yeah. So 2014 May my profit was XYZ. And 2015 when my profit is XYZ, I go compare these two. So when I compare, I need to analyze, guys. That is where the students fail. Yeah, I've seen over the period of time, lot of students are very good at calculating ratios, very good at calculating, saying that, ma'am, this is the gross profit ratio and this is the operating profit ratio. Calculation is like fantastic. But when I talk about analyzation, tell me why it got increased, why it got decreased, what could be the reason? Analyzation is becoming a difficult part for a lot of students, which we will be definitely learning in our sessions. how do we analyze. I've done a whole part of analyzation, in-depth explanation, which you can absolutely find it easy when you find a question being like asked to you analyze the topics. So either same entity in two different years we will be asked to compare, or else you can expect to have same entity with a competitor. For example, we'll take two different competitors and we will compare those two people in the same year. For example, in 2015, I'll take two different results, that is company A result and company B result. Together, I will go ahead and compare. That we call it as what? That we call it as comparison between two different, entity versus other two different entities in the same year. Or else the same entity with the whole industry. For example, assume that I am Netflix, so my Netflix performance I will compare with the entire OTT platform industry, including Sony Live, Netflix, Amazon Prime, what else we have, Z5, like all the OTT platforms, like so many things, Geo Cinema, Geo Hotstar, yeah, all the OTT platforms and Netflix. Like I'll say, okay, OTT sectors in India is performing so and so, I am performing so and so, so we'll compare and see how good are we, right? This is one sort of ratio analysis that we do, one sort of analyzation that we make. Yeah, so when I make an analyzation, it is not limited to, guys, it's ultimately the uses of financial statements, right? Sometimes investors ke liye we prepare certain analyzations, for lenders ke liye, employees ke liye, and then for customers, suppliers, it goes like that. Okay, so that typically we call, these are all the basic comparisons that we can expect. Or else you can compare consolidated financial statements. So consolidated financial statements, you can either talk about acquisition ke bare mein, that means what happened to my what happened to my group, because I acquired a company. At the same time, what happened to my group, because I disposal of a subsidiary. See, I acquired a company, am I doing better or not? At the same time, I disposed a company, what am I doing? Am I doing good or not? This is what the typical 5 different comparisons that you can expect to have, which you'll be learning in depth, of course, when you go to the entire ratio analysis. But guys, to be honest, I feel somewhere deep down, like 99.99%, there is a chance that you will definitely get ratio analysis question in your section C. That is, if you learn this topic, the 20 marks is in your hand by default. Okay, but again, as I said, 99.99%, that doesn't mean you will not get single entity and consolidation. Either ways, the other question is going to be one of them. So you have to learn these 3 topics majorly without fail, right? So this is the pattern that I want you guys to study. At the same time, this is the way that you go ahead and read your financial reporting also. I hope you guys did understand the subject content completely, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, great. Okay, so this is about the subject content that I wanted to discuss with you guys. Okay, so the first thing is discussed, the second thing is also discussed. So now I'm going to the live chat. If you guys do have any sort of questions, then I'll talk about how do we approach to the financial reporting. Are you guys preparing for September attempts? Snoopy boy. Okay. If you're asking me, yes, this lecture is for September attempt that you can definitely use. Okay. Okay, I'll come to Krish question. I think Krish, you're still there in the live so that I can answer your question. Okay. So what am I expecting, guys? See, understand, Igbar, I'm done with preparation. So you guys need to know what is the last date to book the examination. Okay. So there are certain important dates which is always given from the ACCA. let me tell you for September attempt, because I'm talking right now, the upcoming session is September. So I'm talking about September attempt first. So you guys need to understand from 5th May onwards. Yeah. So the exam process, let me go ahead and tell you guys. Okay. So if you guys do know that exam entry, I mean, we will have something called what? Something called exam entry, where our opening date. Let me paste it for you guys. I don't know if whatever I do here will be appearing here or not, but let's give it a try. Yes, it's coming up. Great. So if you guys can do see, this is the information which is officially coming from ACCA platform, guys. So this is for what attempt? This is for the September attempt. This is for what attempt? This is for September attempt. September 2026. Okay. So if you guys do see the exam entry opening date, I mean, when can you start booking the examination? From 5th May 2026 itself, you can start booking the examination for your September attempt. Right? Yeah. So you will be starting to book the examination from 5th May onwards, and your standard exam entry deadline is 27th July 2026. So that means this is the last day to book. Okay. But ma'am, what if late exam entry deadline? So this is something that I don't want you guys to focus, because the fees will be double. The examination fees will be double that you have to pay. So you don't have to worry. So I would say 27th July 2026 is the last date to book your examination for September attempt. Right? This is first thing that you should all know. Okay. However, the examination will take place. Ma'am, when do you think the examination will take place? The examination will be taking place from the generally the first Monday of September. So typically, I would like to tell you guys that this quarter, you guys are little lucky, because when I opened my calculator yesterday, I found that. So September 1st Monday is 7th September this time. So you'll get extra time. Normally it is within the first week. So 7th September examination starts. 7th September to 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. So it will happen 5 days. 11th September tak. Okay. Yeah. So this is what? This is the examination conducting window. Right? Yeah. But at the same time, we should also know that when is financial reporting examination getting conducted. So the exam timetables is something that we should all know. So you guys need to understand that it starts from 7th to 11th. Correct? It starts from where? It starts from 7th to 11th. So I'm adding up here. Yes. Oh, okay. Let me put it aside for you guys. I hope somewhat it is visible, or my head is covering. I'll just paste this little upwards and I'll bring it up here. Yeah. So if you guys see 7th to I would say 7th to 11th is the values. So 7th is Monday, 8th, 9th, 10th. So that means your examination is going to happen on 10th of September, financial reporting. So if you're writing FR, it is going to be on which date? 10th of September. This is what? This is for September attempt that I'm talking about. But December attempt, once again, yes, you guys can find it in your ACCA portal itself. You don't have to register for that. You just have to randomly type it in Google, guys, saying that ACCA examination dates, important dates. That's more than enough. Yeah. So once you are a registered ACCA student, what do you think will happen? You will be having a value. I mean, you'll be having an option to book the examination, which is assisted by the team member from a physics wala team. So where you can go ahead and help. I mean, they will be helping you in terms of booking the examination also. Or else I think there are a lot of videos which is uploaded on the YouTube itself by PW team where how to book the examination process. You guys, it's very user friendly, guys. It is just the way that we open a Facebook account or Instagram account. It's even easier than that. Okay, you can select your center and everything. You can aramsely book your examination. That's about booking the examination. But yes, your typical examination is 10th September. Before that, can I complete it? Of course, yes. You can definitely complete that. Right? So once I understand the exam process, I mean, ma'am, we know now how to book the examination. What is going to be there in our session? See, guys, understand. I would, in the session, what exactly you can expect to have is prepared and kept here. First thing is we will be going through the concepts, the conceptual learning. So I will be explaining how concept works, how things works, like, what are the things that we will be considering. Second thing is we will be learning the standards, accounting standards, each accounting standards. And I will also work through you guys with the examples of how does each standard is used, or how does the each standard is applied in the regular practice on your questions. Once after that, see, once you learn this, once you learn these three topics, you will be going ahead to practice exam questions. We will be practicing what? Exam standard questions, and the revision happens, and we will be going towards little tricky topics, etc., where we can expect to have some sort of examination related questions. Okay. So, and then we will be having mock exam. So this is the approach to FR overall, what I want you guys to do. Now, the major thing that I want to talk about is the resources, everyone. Ma'am, where do we study? What are the resources that we will go ahead and concentrate on? See, I'm sure most of you guys do know that we have multiple examination kits, multiple resources available with us. So if you guys do know, I want you guys to put it on live chat, like, ma'am, I know these are all the materials, or I know I'm waiting for your input so that I can tell you what are the better options, guys. Do you know any subjects, any particular publications that you are relied upon, or you have used it already? See, you guys do know BPP, Kaplan, Study Hub. I was expecting all the three. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, you guys tell me which is more comfortable for you guys in terms of studying. BPP, Kaplan, Study Hub, in this three, which is more comfortable? BPP, Divya, that is an answer that I was actually not expecting. Good job. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So as you guys said, BPP, Kaplan, and Study Hub. These are all the three resources that we have. Okay. So if you guys ask me now, all the three resources we have both study material, I mean to understand the topic, as well as we will have exam kit. Okay. So now, ma'am, to study the topic, should I start with BPP or should I go to Kaplan or should I go to Study Hub? What is your suggestion, ma'am? See, I would always tell you guys, because each one of the student comes from a very different background. Somebody is really good at languages. Somebody is really not good at languages. They are trying to find out like, matlab, oh, what is this new word coming all together from? Like, where do I get this word? So somebody who is thinking like, no, I have to start scratch. Or somebody feels like I want depth knowledge. Somebody says like I want just a brief explanation. Guys, let me tell you, in our session, we have something called class notes too. So what you can do in this three, either select one for study or else you can simply use the class notes. It's either up to you. Yeah, I'm not going to force you guys saying that study only this material. When I talk about study material, I mean to read the concepts, to understand what is IFRS 15, to understand what is IAS 12. I would suggest you guys to do what? I would suggest you guys to either take any one of BPP, Kaplan, Study Hub. Now, ma'am, who should use what? Guys, if you want a simple explanation of a topic, I would suggest you to go to Kaplan. Simple. Yeah, ma'am, I want little complicated language to be involved in the study material so that it can help me in terms of writing the answer better. Then go with BPP. Yeah, ma'am, I am new. I need each one of them to be explained in depth. Somewhere in depth, I want everything to be explained in depth going. You can use either Study Hub or my class notes. Both are almost similar because my class notes are nothing the extract from Study Hub. So you can use either Study Hub or class notes. So you can either select one of BPP, Kaplan, Study Hub or my class notes for your study material, to read it, to understand the concept. Okay. Then comes exam kit. Guys, you have to use BPP, Kaplan and Study Hub. All three should be covered on question solving. All three should be covered in question solving. Terms of question solving. But ma'am, which should I start first? Which should I not start? Guys, understand financial reporting or ACCA. I know you do guys know that 50% is the passing percentage. Ma'am, itna sara kyun karna hai and all of that. I know that somewhere deep down that you guys feel that way. But let me give you guys one heads up. See, understand. 50% is the passing percentage, but nobody has told you what is the probability of you clearing. Right? Yeah. How many attempts are you gonna take? Correct. I don't want you guys to take 2-3 attempts to clear one subject. I want you guys to clear it in first attempt. So for that, it's very necessary that you solve questions coming from BPP also, Kaplan also, and Study Hub. But now you have three materials, right? When you study, use one. Correct. When you revise, when you revision, use second material. It could be anything. When you study, you can either start with BPP questions or Kaplan or Study Hub. You can use any one of these in terms of studying. Ma'am, I'm studying IFRS 15. I want to be very sure on these IFRS 15. Use any one of that. Start. Okay. Likewise, IA 16 ke liye, like you can use anything. Then once you study, then you will do the revision part. Use the second material. Correct. And the last 1 week before revision, 1 week before exam, I want you guys to take the last material that you have left out. So 3 material has to be covered. Guys, don't worry, you'll not be solving many questions. You can always say, ma'am, there are 300 questions, 400 questions in one material. How do you expect us to do 3 materials, which is approximately 1000 questions? Guys, trust me, most of the questions are repeated. Most of the questions are repeated. It's going to be a revision for you, not anything. So you can easily trust me and go through that on terms of revision, on resources especially. Right? So this is about what? This is about resources. So we have covered how do we consider the part, what are the approaches on your FR, like how do we write the examination, where do we book, I mean, what dates, the last dates for September attempt. And we also have discussed about the subject content, this is how FR is going to be. And let me give you guys one heads up, guys. Financial reporting is the heart of your ACCA, trust me. You know FR, you know most of the things. Yeah, because if your FR concept is core, then it is covered with, like, if you know FR, you can easily understand how audit works, right? And if you understand how does the asset works in terms of financial reporting, you can understand what are the changes that is going to happen in financial management. A lot of things are covered with, I wouldn't say it is the core subject for all of that, but it covers a lot of basics where the other subjects will be easier for you guys after you studying FR. Yeah, so that's about the resources too. So now I want you guys to give me any inputs, ma'am. We want you to cover this particular element also in the orientation. I'm gonna do that. Otherwise, what I wanted to explain, I'm done with that. So if you have any sort of questions, I'm open for that. I'm going ahead with the questions, which is gonna put it on the live chat. You guys can start coming up with your questions. But in exam, not a single question will be repeated. No, Divya, there is no chance in the examination questions will be repeated, because it is purely gonna be, I mean, like in the same topic, you can expect to have questions, but repeating is not gonna happen. No. And to an extent, what happens, you can expect to have similar questions. Last quarter may there could be one question where similar question is given in this quarter also with the small additional changes, but the same questions are never asked. Never ever. Well, I'm hoping if you have further questions. I hope there are no much questions for you guys. Great. Okay. So that's about your, guys. You can go ahead and contact us, yeah, for registration and everything. You can easily consider. So you can get into the Telegram channel. You can scan it. So you will be able to get lot of PDFs, practice resources, and everything. And so that's about your entire orientation, everyone. So I hope I'll be seeing you guys in the recorded sessions and question solving sessions in the upcoming part. So thank you so much for attending. I will be meeting you guys in the live class, I mean the recorded sessions. Start with conceptual framework, the first lecture, and end with the interpretation, typically to be the last lecture. Okay, great. Thank you all for attending. I should meet you guys later.